Buying a farm seemed like such a great idea after the death of my wife. I had the money and I hated my job, so it seemed perfect. The farm I chose wasn't too big, enough space to have a regular rotation of crops and maybe a few animals. The farm also came with a house. It was quaint and rustic, a drastic departure from my modern London apartment. So I moved in, my little farm, in the middle of nowhere. It was later that night. I slumped on the sofa having almost finished my glass of scotch. Then I saw it out of the corner of my eye, a disturbance in the wheat field. I stood up and went to investigate. I peered through the window. It seemed like I could hear distant metallic stomping. Reluctantly got back into my Wellington boots and went out to investigate. I scanned my torch across the field, focusing on the area of disturbance. I approached the wheat field, the metallic stomping getting louder and louder. I felt an aggressive sense of anxiety and fear as I approached the disturbance. I finally arrived in front of the wheat. I reached out and moved some wheat across, revealing what may have been the worst sight I've ever seen in my life. A man made of almost entirely metal, a cold, emotionless human shape, stood in front of me. The creature looked rusted and scratched up, like it had been abandoned in someone's shed.
You will be like us.
The creature said in a strange metallic dirge. I stared. I started to back away. I tripped on something lying on the ground and I dropped to the earth with a thud. I clumsily crawled backwards before finally getting up and running back to the farmhouse. I locked myself back inside, then I paced around panicking. What was it? Where did it come from? It's a prank. It must be a prank, I remember saying out loud. I looked out of the window. The strange rusty robot was stomping towards the house. I continued to panic. The sense of fear from earlier had by this point risen inside of me to a point of terror.